rematch of, I don't remember what Super Bowl number was, but the 2003 Super Bowl. Tampa Bay Buccaneers were victorious. Just wanted to make sure they said that to start this off.
Obviously.
Matchup that matters here. What do we got, Carmen?
I think you have to involve Mike Evans in whatever matchup it is, just given the fact that he has to continue the pace that he's on in order to get to that 1,000-yard season again. And this is something that's really important to him.
What's he need? Like 96 a game now?
So prior to the last game, it was 99.5. So and then he got 112 yards, something like that. I haven't done the math as far as what he needs to average, but it's probably in the 95, 96 range.
Yep.
At this point. So, I mean, to be safe, he needs at or just around 100 yards a game from here on out. And what I love about, so Mike isn't one necessarily for individual accolades, but this is something that he does care about. And by default, then it's something that Baker Mayfield cares about. And by default, then it's something that Liam Cohen cares about. This is something that the team cares about getting from Mike Evans. And so there is going to be a concerted effort week in and week out for the rest of the season to try and get Mike Evans the ball. So if you're a team going against them, it simplifies things a little bit. The Bucs do have a wonderful and very diverse run game to fall back on now, which I absolutely adore. Bucky Irving's official breakout game last week. You have Rachaad White kind of mixing in there as the change-up back, go Devils. I just think that this offense still runs through Mike Evans because of the fact that you're trying to get him this accolade that sets him apart from all the rest of the receivers in NFL history. So he's got 39 catches for 521 yards right now, 7 receiving touchdowns, 32 catches gaining a first down. The 17 catches gaining 15 or more yards, which is the most on the Bucs, that's the one that you key in on, because the easiest way to get Mike Evans to these numbers is those chunk plays, is to have him running longer routes, longer developing routes especially. So that's where the offensive line needs to hold up for Baker. Baker needs to be able to find anticipate when Mike Evans is getting open, or they do have the rapport now where Mike can kind of scramble around and figure out ways to get himself open, and Baker just needs time to make that happen, but limit the turnover-worthy plays in the process of doing this. So it's Mike Evans versus these Raiders corners. I just think that it kind of starts and ends there for the Buccaneers offense for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and the corners for the Raiders have struggled this season. Nate Hobbs, highest graded corner, 63.4 overall grade. But, Jacorian Bennett, Jack Jones, Darnay Holmes, Cameron Richardson, just listen to all of them there. They got coverage grades in the 50s throughout this season. And so it just has not been as good of a unit as, honestly, I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a sneaky, decent secondary here for the Raiders, and it just has not played out that way. On the other side of the football, I'm going to go with the Raiders offensive line versus the Bucs defensive line. Raiders offensive line, good in run blocking. If you look at just week 9 to this point, so the last 4 or 5 weeks, you get to you see numbers where they're actually earning really good run blocking grades as a unit. Pass blocking grades, not so much. Just overall, their blocking grade is 12th in the NFL. They're the 5th highest run blocking grade in the NFL, 25th in pass blocking grade. So it is a Buccaneers defensive line that I lacks some star power, I would say, certainly at the edges. Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea, I think, are a fantastic duo in the middle, but can somebody step up on the edges and really get to them and get the pressure? Yaya Diaby leads the team in pressure, as we assumed that would be the case with him going into the season, but then it's a major drop-off. The next edge rusher is Anthony Nelson at 22, so it goes all the way from 46 to 22, and the Joe Tryon show you at 20. Logan Hall at 15, Chris Braswell at 14. So just a major drop-off. We need another edge rusher here to step up for this team if they're going to recapture the top of this division, which they're tied with the Falcons right now. But for the Bucs, they will lose the tiebreaker against the Atlanta Falcons, losing both of the games to that team. And so you've got to make sure that you clear that by 1 game. So this is a team that you've really got to figure out, how do we get more pass rush? And this is a week to sort of figure it out, because if they cannot get after Aiden O'Connell and pressure him a little bit here, I think it'll be a little bit of a struggle. My plus factor, though, because I mentioned Aiden O'Connell, is Aiden O'Connell, who for the Black Friday game against the Kansas City Chiefs, did what he needed to do to win the football game, right? I mean, he had them in position, including a great last drive to get them in field goal range. And it was just a situation where, Jackson Powers Johnson thought he saw somebody move. He snaps it early. The ball just goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Boom, there it is. Somehow they find a way to win again. Have you seen, you're a Harry Potter person, right?
Absolutely.
Have you seen the memes where it's like Taylor Swift in the press box, cursing the other team so the Chiefs win, and it's the clip of Snape, cursing
Professor Quirrell, trying to curse, that's
what it felt like. That's genuinely what it felt like when that snap happened, because it felt like the Raiders should have had that big win, and they don't get it. But four big time throws in this past game.
That football. There it is.
Yes. 4 big time throws in this last game, 2 turnover worthy plays, 74.4 passing grade. I like Aiden O'Connell. I really do. He's not somebody that I think you could just totally write off. I liked him more than Gardner Minshew going into this season. I know he's not perfect, but to me, he's a quarterback who gives you a chance to win. He really is. So he's my plus factor here, because if he plays like he did last week, it's going to come down to the wire again, just like it did last week, in my opinion. Who's your plus factor here?
It's basically kind of the money down situations for both teams, because the Bucs actually rank in the top 5 for most of these really, good, the situational stuff. So 3rd and 4th down, red zone scoring drives, red zone touchdown efficiency. The Bucs are top 5 in all of that. So that the Bucs can score once they get inside the red zone. That they're going to be able to continue drives to get there on 3rd and 4th down. Raiders, on the other hand, though, struggling in pretty much all of those categories. 3rd and 4th down conversion rate, the Raiders rank 27th in the league. Their red zone touchdown efficiency rank, they rank 29th. And then they're 18th in red zone scoring drive. So in order to keep pace with a Bucs team, which is top 5 in scoring offense, by the way, they are capable of putting up a lot of points. You're going to need to do the same if you're the Raiders, and that means punching it in when it matters, or continuing drives on some of those money down, crucial situation type throws and plays, rather. So the 3rd and 4th down conversion rate just has to be better for Aiden O'Connell and this offense, which I don't know if this is really the week to do it, given what you're going to be facing, especially along that defensive line. Antoine Winfield Jr., I believe, still healthy, and that's he's a guy that can really affect what a quarterback can do, playing with his eyes, manipulating stuff like that when you're lined up, pre-snap especially. So that's something that I would look out for sure in this game. And the Bucs are home, so they're not going to have, the Raiders are now having to travel across multiple time zones to get there.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.